Hey there, my name is Lauren Lemunyon, otherwise known as the Spitfire Coach. Thank you so much for joining me today as we go over how to lead through the unknown. Today we're going to dive into the tools and strategies to help you build bridges of trust and certainty during these uncertain times. I'm a professional certified coach with over 2,000 hours working with high potential global professionals, over 300 of them, from tech, oil and gas, think tanks, nonprofits, and small businesses. It doesn't matter what industry we're in, everyone is experiencing uncertainty. They're afraid. Where do we go? How do I support my team in these moments of unknown? What do I say to them? What if I say the wrong thing? So where did all of this come from? Well, it's a combination of design thinking with core energy coaching, resentment release, and just being an entrepreneur at heart. I'm a natural problem solver, and I love to create visual solutions so that people can better understand where they are. I want you to have a roadmap and a blueprint so that you know how to best show up. Are you guys ready? Awesome. We want to go over the 6 keys to building and maintaining trust. Now, why do we need to focus on trust? Well, that is at the foundation of everything we do. When we don't have trust, we lose everything. It takes a long time to build up trust, and it can take a second to lose it. After we talk about trust, we're going to talk about the 7 levels of energetic expression. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry. We're going to go over each of the 7 levels, and we'll talk about how they show up for you, how they show up for your team, and how you can best navigate that. And then this is where we're going to talk about the really cool stuff, outcome mapping. How do these 7 levels interact with each other? And how do you create those moves, those strategies, so that you can get your desired outcome with what people are bringing to the table? And then once we do that, we're going to go to the AAA method to convert your fear into a strategy. That's right, we don't have to just sit in the funk. We can feel it out, and we can actually use it as an ally and an asset to help us with problem solving and team building and trust building. And then after that, we're going to look at the 7 keys of successful engagement. So what are those key components that we need to constantly have top of mind to maintain these trust-based teams? Are you guys ready? Let's go. So first, why does trust and certainty matter? A lot of things feel uncertain. We don't know when there's going to be a vaccine. We don't know when we're all going to be in the office together. We don't know when we're going to go to conferences and conventions like we used to. We don't know when we're going to see some family members if they live overseas, or maybe we don't feel comfortable. All of these feelings of uncertainty make us not trust things. We don't know what to trust as real. We don't know what to trust as guaranteed. Certainty is very much like a guarantee. And when we don't have it, we start to question other things. Like, where do I fit in this? What does this mean for my longevity? What does this mean for my job? And when we have those moments of uncertainty and that lack of trust, it takes us away from our most powerful position. It takes us away from being present. And that's where all the magic happens. That's where collaboration happens, creativity, problem solving, innovation. It happens when we're present with our thoughts and the people around us. We're not worrying what happened before, and we're not anticipating all the things that could go wrong. We are in the moment. But when we lack trust, we're worried about what might happen. We're worried about who may be coming for us, or what situations may be threatening us. And so when we have all of those things on the table, it's impossible for us to be effective. So if you're a leader who doesn't feel like you can trust, or if you're a leader who doesn't think that your team trusts you, or maybe you don't trust certain team members, this is an opportunity to start to look at that. When we have trust or when we don't have trust, we can feel it. So think about an experience where you have trusted someone. Where do you feel that in your body? Take a moment right now, do a little body scan. When I think of a trusting relationship, where does it show up? For me, it's all in my heart. I feel this opening, this connection. And I also feel like the weight on my shoulder starts to go. I feel a loosening in my neck. I don't feel that tension. I don't feel the tension in my temple. So I start to let go of that constricted feeling, and I start to open up in a different way. Now I want you to also think about a person where there hasn't been trust. Maybe we skipped over it in the beginning of the relationship. Maybe we never really took an effort out to make it happen. What does it feel like to interact with someone you know doesn't trust you? And how do you think they feel about you? These are things to think about, because in all of these situations where we either have trust or we don't have trust, we have the opportunity to fill in the gaps. But if we skip over it, if we just assume you should trust me and I should trust you, we haven't done the work to set the foundation. We don't know what's true and what's assumed. Now, here is a really good point that I want you to keep in mind, because this is going to be a through line through everything we're talking about. All relationships break down because of one thing: unmet expectations. If I have an expectation that you're going to do certain things in certain time frames based on your role, based on who I think you are, and you don't meet those expectations, I'm not going to trust you. I'm going to be really let down, and I'm going to question your motives. I'm going to question if you're going to follow through. And if you have an expectation of me to show up in a certain way, to perform a certain way, and I don't, you're going to be really disappointed with me. You're probably going to create a story of how I'm lazy, or I'm not productive, or I'm not motivated, or I'm a bad employee. This is what happens all the time in corporate America, in our homes, with family members. When we don't have facts, we have stories, we have assumptions, and we have resentments. And then we get super frustrated and annoyed that things aren't the way they're supposed to be. So keep this in mind. What expectations do you have out there related to the people you're working with, or maybe with yourself? What expectations aren't being met? And why aren't they being met?